Breathe in, breathe out. You keep me alive. You are my passion for life. Hey there, Passions fans. Okay, so I got a little behind, but that doesn't mean that I still don't want to talk about last week's Passions. So let's get to it. Let's start off with Kay and Tabitha. Now, they're being blackmailed by the dark side because, you know, they want to get Miguel and Endora back. What does the dark side want? Evil. So now Kay and Tabitha are going to be evil witches. Now, Kay's having a little trouble making this adjustment, but Tabitha is all about it. She'll do anything to get Endora back. So then Sam comes over to Tabitha's house to interview Kay and Miguel in regards to Fox's death. But Miguel isn't there, so that's not looking very good for Miguel. And they can't explain where he is, and it's all bad, and Kay's all concerned, but Tabitha's not, because this means that there's evil going on, and they've made their switch to the dark side. Okay, let's talk about Luis, Sheridan, and Fancy. Now, Alistair is using Sheridan to break up Fancy and Luis. You know, he's playing on the fact that Fancy is really quite disturbed with Sheridan and all Sheridan's behavior. So Sheridan thinks that Alistair doesn't know that she knows that Marty's alive, but he does. And he is the one that's sending Luis. So Sheridan comes off with all these ideas that, you know, if she doesn't tell anybody, then Alistair will never know. But Alistair already knows, and it's just going to break up Luis and Fancy. And all I have to say is Luis is stupid to go along with it. So then we have Ethan, Teresa, and Gwen doing their normal stuff about, oh, I'm going to tell him, oh, I'm not going to tell him. And Gwen saying, you know, Alistair will kill Ethan if he knows. And then Teresa goes in to tell them, and then we see on the scenes from the next that she really ends up telling Alistair. And Ethan is probably never going to know this secret. And even though I got excited for a little bit when they changed over to DirecTV, I am buckling down for the long haul now. So then we have Eve and Julian, who are at Eve's house, commiserating all the death that's around them. Julian's lost Fox, Julian's lost Vincent, Eve has lost Vincent. She feels really guilty. She feels like she could have helped him. And, you know, it does help that Vincent is sitting there, you know, tormenting her with, like, ghost and voice and calling her, and they can't figure it out, and it's just all crazy. So Eve thinks she's going crazy and Vincent really is alive, but Vincent really is alive. Julian just wants Eve to make him feel better because, you know, he's having a pretty bad day with 2 of his sons being killed. Yeah. So then finally, I just want to say a couple words about Ivy, who is feeling very, very guilty about Fox's death and how she never got to know Fox and she didn't know anything about Fox, and the Cranes are cursed and there's everything wrong with the Cranes. And Fancy is trying to console her mother when Pretty comes in and yells at them, but then Alistair gets mad at Pretty for messing with their relationship because, you know, Alistair needs Pretty to be friends with Fancy and with Ivy because he needs her to, you know, kind of play them. So then Pretty has to go in and make up, and she's a very good little crane, and she does it. And, you know, now they're all friends and consoling each other, and Ivy's the worst mother ever, and she's feeling all bad about Fox. And then she wants to blame it on Kay, of course, because she hates Kay, but that is not going to do a very good job at rekindling her relationship with Sam, because Kay is Sam's daughter. Remember that, Ivy. And there does seem to be a little bit of, I don't know how to explain it, like, you know, juice, I guess, or feelings between Julian and Ivy, which I'm finding interesting. So really my comments on all of this are that the men of Harmony could not be more clueless. Luis, you should not be keeping secrets from Fancy. Secrets are just bad, and Fancy hates secrets. She broke up with Noah for that. So, like, this whole thing and letting yourself be convinced by Sheridan and Marty being the most important thing, and it's totally a play, and you're just totally an idiot right now. And I really wonder if Galling really, what he thinks of having to play this clueless person constantly. Just like I wonder what Eric thinks about having to play the clueless Ethan constantly. Like, Ethan, Teresa can tell you 6 times that little Ethan really is your son, and you, oh, I understand, blah, blah, blah. Not cool, Ethan. Not cool. You need to, like, get a clue. Gwen, I'm getting kind of annoyed at you, but you're not really a man of harmony. Sam, you're the police chief. Nothing gets solved. It's now a big joke. Alistair is, like, standing in the other room while you're in the living room. He's in the kitchen. Sheridan's about to kill him. You and Louise have no clue what is going on in this town. Let's see. What other men? Actually, Julian's character and Alistair, the Crane boys, they don't seem to be as clueless as the other people. They're just more evil and so on, and know what's going on, but, you know, they're kind of, you know, a little silly when it all plays out. But Julian seems to be getting a little nicer. I can't decide if he's bad Julian or good Julian. I guess he was bad Julian in the beginning. And then he became good Julian after his trip with little Timmy. And then after he broke up with Viv, he fell back into his old ways with Fox and pretending all the dead and, you know, all the deadly disease and all that. But now he seems to be, you know, recovering a little bit, even though we're not sure about his feelings about Vincent and him being a half man and half woman. But we'll work that all out in the end. Julian's getting a little bit interesting. I guess that's all I can think of for now, but I do think that we could do with a little bit of, you know, intelligence with the Men of Harmony. I'm sure there's a million other examples of how clueless men in Harmony are. And women seem to be very devious and have to do things behind the back and all that kind of stuff. I guess it's just a passions world that all have to live with. That's what I've got for now, and I hope to see you again soon. I am totally going to talk about this week. Hopefully. I'll try. Okay, thanks. Bye. Breathe in, breathe out.